We welcome you back to the Patrick Netherton Show. Joining us now on the Desert Fiends hotline, the man, the myth, the legend, Chris Bertrand. Coach Bert on his way to Baton Rouge to take on those Tigers. Bert, what's up, brother?
Man, we just pulled over, and we are going to grab some lunch, or we're going to grab a late pregame meal, and then we're going to head over to the stadium. But, man, thanks so much for having me.
Hey, look, you've earned an appearance, certainly. Obviously we'd have you if you had one win or 41 wins, but your guys have been very solid this year. Most wins, more wins than last year already, both overall and in conference. Tell me what this team has been like overall to be with.
To be with them is an absolute joy, man. I've said on multiple occasions how much I love coaching this baseball team and how fortunate I am just to be able to lead it. I really do feel like I'm along in the journey, and we do that by design. That's the culture that we want to create. But it makes me really proud to have assembled a team that feels the same way and buys into it, and then to watch them use that mentality and go out and perform. I continue to be impressed with all of the characteristics that we say we want to be about, man. Demon baseball is blue collar, and Demon baseball is resilient. And my guys are punchers, man. My guys are punchers, and they keep punching and they keep fighting. And listen, sometimes it's not the sexiest baseball in the world, but when you play the Demons, you better put your fist up for 9 innings, man. And I've got a roster full of dudes that believe in it. I've got a coaching staff full of dudes that make that stuff happen on a daily basis. Man, Patrick, I'm the luckiest guy in the world, dude. If I was any better, they'd start calling me Hambone.
Well, only one person gets to be called Hambone. Like that's the truth. There's only one Hambone out there, and we all thank the Lord for that, to be honest with you. Bert, how do you develop a culture, right? Like it's one of the things coaches always talk about. We want to either change the culture when they're first hired, or we want to develop this. Like, how do you go about sort of granularly trying to develop a culture?
You make it organic, man. It's a living, breathing organism. You can't do it in a way where you force it upon people. You can't do it in a way where it becomes only your idea or only self-serving. It has to be organic. You have to recruit people who share your vision. You have to recruit people who share your values. You have to recruit people that want to be a part of what it is that you're building. There's no secret that in today's climate and in today's society, especially in college athletics, that this thing is changing, man. And there's a paradigm shift, it seems like, every week, right? And so what we try to do is we try to build something that people want to be a part of, and then we try to live that lifestyle in the way we teach, in the way we teach life lessons, in the way we teach the game of baseball, in the way that we treat our guys, give them the college baseball experience, in the way that we open their eyes to all kinds of different things, right? All kinds of different players, all kinds of different, whether it be within your schedule or whether it be within the people that you hire, within the relationships that you build. Like, I really do think that you just, man, when I wake up every morning, I put my feet on the floor, and it's the 3 people that live under my roof and Demon baseball, dude. And I put my head down and I just work. And I think that it happens organically if you be about what you say you want to be about. If you build what you say you're going to build. If you say you're going to do something, you go out and do it, right? If when you make mistakes in this process that we call growing and learning and developing, you're accountable for those mistakes, you learn from them, and then you go right back to work. And that's the way you see us play. And we learn from game to game. We learn from day to day. We learn from series to series, from year to year. In what we do with the facility, we learn every time we make an improvement and an upgrade, and we're still building for the future, and we want to continue that. Like, I think you make it happen organically, and you live the lifestyle, and you develop relationships, and then people want to be a part of it.
You know, you mentioned the upgrades, and we obviously need to talk about that. You have new turf down, a new scoreboard out in right center, a new outfield wall, few years ago, the renovation of the stadium itself, putting in the new press box, the two luxury boxes. We've seen the bullpens have been moved a little bit and changed. Colin Rain's not a big fan of the fence out in right field, I would imagine, or at least his face is not a fan of it.
That's a good.
But, to be able to see, because look, in this age of transfer portal and NIL, at the level that you're at, there's not going to be a lot of NIL money. So you do need a hook of some kind, or some kind of, hey, here's some something nice to be able to say you're going to come in and play with. And that field is number one. Tell me about kind of the ongoing renovations and how that has maybe impacted what you can do recruiting wise.
Man, I'll tell you what, the first thing we need to say about the entire part of it is that we are fortunate and blessed to be able to be a part of the generosity of so many people in the Natchitoches area, mainly, David and Jennifer Thornton, and the way that was made to happen. Also, just we can't take all the credit for it. Some of the things that you mentioned happened under Bobby Barbier's watch. And so Bobby and I was fortunate enough to be able to do those things with him. But this has been years in the making. It has been through the generosity of our community and of our town and of our university. The alumni has played a huge part in it, past players. And so, man, it's an all-inclusive, really all-nurturing type of job that we've undertaken, man. And we do it for all of the right reasons. When you say you want to build something people want to be a part of, I think that a facility and something that they can be proud of is a huge part of that, right? I think it also helps your program in the way that, Patrick, recruiting is marketing, man. And you've got to market your university. You've got to market your program. You've got to market your facilities. You have to have, things that we want it not only to be a great baseball facility for Demon baseball, but I want it to be a fan-friendly atmosphere. I want it to be a family-friendly atmosphere. I want people to come to our campus for their entertainment purposes. That's what a town like Natchitoches is, man. People come to our campus, and they come to our campus because they have season tickets to our events, and they come to our campus so that they can work out and exercise around Chaplin's Lake and inside of the RAC. They come to our campus for plays and musicals. They come to our campus as kind of a hub of what it is that they need, and me doing my part to provide the best overall experience for the players, for the fans, and for the community. That's what Demon baseball is built upon. It's a unique place, and it's a special place, and it takes a creative mind, and it takes an idea that we're going to do whatever it takes, man. I'll do whatever it takes in whatever capacity that I can to constantly be of service to the people. And our people are our players and our fans and anyone who is invested in Demon baseball, right? I want it to be known. And when you walk around with your hand out and you constantly just, the Bible makes that clear that guy's a tax collector. And nobody likes the tax collector, dude. But everybody likes investment. And so I want people to feel that they are shareholders and stakeholders and investors in Demon baseball, and that every day my work reflects that I'm giving them their money's worth. And that's how we built it, and that's why we built it, man. And if that's if that's blabbering or if that's an elongated answer, then I'm sorry. But listen, that's 100% the truth, is that we are of service to every investor and shareholder and stakeholder in Demon baseball. And that's why I think we've got some cool things going on.
I would say, Bert, that was actually a medium length answer for you. That was not on the longer scale for Bert answers. Certainly, Chris Bertrand, head coach of the Northwestern State Demon baseball team, joining us on the Desert Fiends hotline. All right, what 18-4 at home? Massive home field advantage. Your midweek schedule has you've brought in some teams that you can get some wins and get some confidence, but 15-9 in conference play. You're 2.5, whatever. I don't know. I can't figure the math out, but you're 2.5 games out of first. Tell me about the confidence that this team has.
I think it's confidence through work, right? And I think it's confidence through preparation. It's confidence through knowing what it is that we are about, right? I've said on multiple occasions, I think that one of the things about this team that becomes very tangible and very evident is that 1 year of experience can prove to move mountains, right? And the way in which we set out when we were tasked with taking over the program, the way in which we set out to build the roster, and what we went through last year, we truly viewed as a learning experience, just like I mentioned earlier, in the way we want to learn from every single thing. But the idea that now we have some guys that are veterans, we have some guys that have been in the fire, we have some guys that I think are familiar with the league, and the way in which I think our guys, when you buy into the culture and you want to be a part of all the things that I just mentioned, I think you buy into the idea that our way of paying our fans back, our way of respecting the generosity, our way of doing things is to go out and when we play at the bistro, to play absolutely as hard as we can and to give everybody 100% focus and intensity. That's our way of saying thank you. That's our way of saying, when we had the press conference, when we were tasked with taking over, I promised to the people that the ball club and the program would reflect the people of Natchitoches, that it would reflect Northwestern State University values, and that when you come to the ballpark and you spend your hard-earned money to buy a ticket to watch us play, or when you take one of your evenings and you sit in front of your TV and you watch ESPN Plus, I want the product on the field and the manner in which we play to be our way of giving back. And I think this team plays like that, man. We're never out of the fight. We're never going to stop punching. We're always going to say, win one more pitch, man. Win one more play. Win one more pitch, right? We're going to use it. We're going to use it to mount a comeback. And if a comeback's not in the cards, we're going to use it to be a better team tomorrow night. And when we don't have a chance to get off to a fast start, how do we make adjustments to get off to a fast start? When we don't do a good job of closing down the ball game at the end of the ball game, how do we learn from that? And next time that opportunity presents itself, how do we shut it down and slam the door, right? That's the way we think. That's the way we talk. That's the way we play and we operate our business. I want our guys to be finishers in the classroom, finish the semester and get the best possible grades you can. Learn everything you can so that one day when the game is done with you, you're going to be the best version of yourself in the way of being a good father and a good husband and a good head of household, right? And so finish everything that we do. Try to win in everything that we do. Try to learn in everything that we do. I believe it, and I think we live it, and I'm fortunate to have coaches and players that believe in that.
Bert, you obviously have I would say, a Herculean task. It's not like Northwestern State hasn't beaten LSU before. But, at their place is always a little different at the box. Tell me about the challenge of facing those guys in a midweek, especially when you're in the midst of a really hard Southland Conference race that is coming down the stretch.
You jump in the arena, man. Like, that's it. You don't. It is a challenge, but we accept that challenge. It is going to be an uphill battle and a fight, and we accept that, right? We'll play whatever role you want us to play, but at the end of the day, when the guy says play ball, the Demons are going to put their fist up, and we're going to do whatever it takes. And, man, I don't know what that looks like from a result standpoint, but what I do know is that our guys are competitors. Our guys, they welcome this experience. Our guys are going to learn from this experience. We're going to learn tonight. We're going to use it tomorrow. We're going to learn from Tuesday and Wednesday. We're going to use it in Nacogdoches, Texas this weekend, right? And so it's not oversimplified, but it simply is just that right there, man. Like, we are thankful for the opportunity. We are so respectful of Coach Jay Johnson and what he has built, and we are so respectful of the program. Listen, man, most of our guys are from Louisiana. They know what this is like, man. Yeah. And anybody not living under a rock knows what LSU baseball is, right? And so it's a welcome challenge for us. But what you truly do is you just stand in the arena and say, hey, man, here we go, right? Let's go. And if we give every play 100% intensity, if we give every play 100% focus, right? If we have the toughest at-bats that we can possibly have, if we grind through the ball game, then hopefully we find ourselves late in the ball game in a position to win, right? And if we don't, then I can tell you that every single pitch along the way, we will learn something from it, and we will put it to good use, man. everybody that is involved. We owe it to those stakeholders and shareholders.
Bert, you talk a lot about putting your fists up and fighting. Anybody that's seen your fists, I would imagine, are probably pretty nervous by that concept. If you've never seen Bert, go watch one of his videos, his post game press conferences, post game chats with Jason Pugh. We call them Hulk hands. They are massive and meaty, and if you put your fists up at me, Bert, I'm leaving. Like, I'm not going to stick around. So I've got to imagine there's not a more apt metaphor for you to use.
And honestly, man, and I know we use that word and we say fight. I mean it in such a positive way. I'm one of those guys that believes that toughness wins. Like I do. That's the root of it all. Is that I'm one of those guys who believes that toughness wins, and I'm one of those guys that believes that the opportunity that's in front of me. Listen, man, there are 300 Division I baseball teams in the world. There's 300 of these jobs in the world. And the idea that they gave one of these jobs to a little boy from the swamps of South Louisiana, and I've tried in my career and in my life to earn everything, right? To earn everything and to try to put it in a position where you deserve for good things to happen for your team and for your whatever. Like when we say the word fight, we mean it in a way that we have conviction in the fact that toughness wins. And we have conviction in the fact that I think that success in life or success on the baseball field, success on a scoreboard is simply a byproduct of the way you live your day-to-day life. That's what I believe, man, is that if you wake up every morning and you grind, right, then things can be earned and things can be deserved, right? And so I know I do say the word fight a lot, but we truly mean it in a way that I want our guys to be the toughest competitors in life that we can possibly be. And if we do that on a daily basis, I think you're going to like the results on the board. I think you're going to like the results on the report card. I think you're going to like the results in life.
I'm going to skip ahead to next week real quick because I'm going to just go out on a limb and say there may not be a more abrupt change of scenery that anyone would face than going from Monroe to Malibu. I don't, look, I love Monroe. We like our ULM folks, but man, Monroe to Malibu. Coach, tell me about Pepperdine. How did this happen? Why did this happen? And I've heard a lot of people say it's the prettiest ballpark you could possibly go to in terms of scenery. Give us the skinny on how you end up going from Monroe on a Tuesday to Pepperdine on the weekend.
Like the process itself was not all that sophisticated. It really is a byproduct of just kind of the way in which scheduling took place or how it takes place from a procedural standpoint. When we had drafted the original 2025 schedule, we had done so in a manner that the Southland Conference normally gives you your schedule to be played, and then you work your non-conference and your midweeks around that. Well, as a coaches committee, we decided to go with the 2-week postseason model that you see that we're going to have in place beginning this year. And so the season was pushed up an entire week because of the double postseason model. Well, then SFA and UTRGV joined the conference, and both of them play baseball. We decided everyone was going to play everyone, and so they pushed the season up 2 more weeks, right? And so the idea that now the season that we had originally drafted way back when was pushed forward 3 weeks. It meant that my non-conference weekends and my Southland Conference bye were going to be compromised from the original schedule. So when I got the final draft of what the conference schedule looked like, we saw where May 1st through 30th or 2nd through 4th was the bye week that we were going to be faced with. And then you set out to see who else has that bye week. There's multiple websites. We obviously have a huge network. Coach Dylan Belanger, our recruiting coordinator, has an enormously wide net that he casts in all business that we do, including recruiting. And so we figured out and found out that multiple teams, Pepperdine had an opening, University of California had an opening, Cal Berkeley had an opening, Stanford at one point had an opening, Winthrop University in South Carolina had an opening. And so we set out to see who and where the openings are, and then you negotiate. And, man, we were fortunate enough that it was able to work out with Pepperdine, and then we set out to do the logistics and to raise the money for the trip. And I'm really thrilled to be able to give those guys this opportunity. We know what it means for baseball, but we also understand that, man, I care about our guys being cultured. I care about our guys getting to live out really special experiences. Patrick, we're going to have a couple of guys that are going to get on an airplane for the first time.
Yeah, always do.
Yeah, man, and we're going to go to the state of California for the first time. We're going to play, at a ballpark against, I would say, like a West Coast team in the regular season for probably what's going to be the first time for a lot of these guys, right? And so I care about giving the guys experiences where I can. And the idea that we get to go play 3 baseball games there is something that I know our entire program is looking forward to. And it's something that, man, we're going to learn about, right? We're going to learn from every single part of this journey. And, at the end of the day, if eventually we're going to build the program to be where we all want it to be, then it's going to require at times you making an NCAA regional where you may have to fly. It's going to require you making an NCAA regional where you don't know what the other 3 teams there are going to be. And so you've got to prepare for a team that plays a much different way. West Coast baseball is a little different, right? And Pepperdine's going to play a little different. They're going to pitch us a little different than the way we're pitched in the Southland Conference. They're going to pitch us different than the way we're going to be pitched tonight in an SEC environment, right? And so when we say we want to learn from everything, I'm excited because whether it be the way in which we travel, the teams we play, the style of baseball that's going to be required to be successful, we're going to learn something from this trip to Pepperdine along with life lessons and culturing of our players, and we're going to be able to use it. I hope we get to use it a month from now, but if it's a year from now or 2 years from now, it's going to be just as valuable.
All right, final thing. I hit up Hambone, McNeese series. His dad's in the McNeese Hall of Fame. Come on down Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday afternoon, the final weekend of the season. He says it's too far out. It's 3 weeks. He can't put that in his brain. But, Bert, I wanted to give you a chance to get. He already hates it, but I want to just give you a chance to invite Hambone out to come to a baseball game, that McNeese series.
Listen, man, Hambone has a standing invitation to anything Demon baseball, and he knows that. But anytime you get a chance to come on down and see, he hasn't been to the new ballpark yet.
It's
right?
true. It's
and
true.
So
hadn't seen the new turf and all of that.
That's right. He hasn't seen the new ballpark. He hasn't gotten to know a lot of the new fans. And now you throw the idea in there that he's got some family ties to it. I mean, listen, Patrick, it's stacking up to be way too much for him to pass up. Like it's an opportunity that he can't afford to pass up, and we just need to make sure that he doesn't turn his back on that opportunity.
That's true. That's true. He said 3 weeks is too long to put in his brain, Bert, but we'll keep on him. We'll keep on him. Would you like, Roger, would you like to? No, okay. He doesn't need to say anything. But we'll get him down there at some point, Bert. We're going to make it happen.
Please do.
All right, brother, good luck tonight. Back at home tomorrow against Mississippi Valley, and then on the road at Nacogdoches on the weekend. As always, we appreciate your time, man, and go get them, brother.
Man, I love you guys, and I appreciate you having me. And fork 'em Demons, man.
There you go. That's Chris Bertrand, head coach of the Northwestern State Demons.